welcome to Hearts and Stripes, your one-stop shop for all things military marriage. I hope our discussions and interviews equip you with the tools to start or grow a beautiful marriage as we address the benefits and challenges of MILF marriage. I believe life's most precious moments are worth celebrating, so I'll help you design your marriage blueprint in alignment with your core values. Thank you for joining us, and remember to rate, subscribe, and review. Let's do this. Hello, and welcome to Hearts and Stripes podcast, your one-stop shop for all things military marriage. This is your host, Bree Carroll, and I am so excited for today's Heart to Heart. We have a very special guest, Danielle Sanchez, who's going to break down the backstory behind our Military Marriage Day 2022 Disney giveaway. So a little bit about Danielle. She is a travel planner with Marvelous Mouse Travels. She absolutely loves her rewarding career as she connects families with the magic of Disney. She has been married for 7 years to her husband, and they actually met while working in Disneyland 16 years ago. That is just completely amazing. She is an Army spouse, so go Army. And we are just so excited that she is going to share with us today about more of what she does with Marvelous Mouse Travels. So without any further ado, here's my chat with Danielle. So welcome to Hearts and Stripes podcast. I am so excited to have my special friend here, Danielle, who is going to share all things Disney, life as a military spouse, and give you the behind the scenes of a giveaway that we did for Military Marriage Day. So Danielle, welcome to Hearts and Stripes podcast. Say hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'm excited to dive in. This is going to be a fun episode as we roll back into this season. And we're going to just chat a little bit about a Disney giveaway that we did for the first time for Military Marriage Day 2022. But before we get into all of that, I would love for you to just share your military marriage story.
All right. Well, just a couple of days ago on the 29th, my husband and I actually celebrated our 7th wedding anniversary.
Yay, congrats.
Thank you. And we met 16 years ago at Disneyland. So we both worked there during college.
I love this so much.
He showed up one day. I was already working there. I worked at the Haunted Mansion, and he showed up one day and my heart was all aflutter. I laid eyes on him and I was like, there he is. That's him. And he does not remember this interaction at all.
I love that. That's good.
Of course. But then a few months later, we got to talking, and then friends first, started dated for a couple of years. And then we actually went our separate ways. He decided he was going to basic training, and I decided I was moving back home to Chicago to get a master's degree in elementary education. So we went our separate ways, stayed in contact. And then a few years after that, after he had gone through the Q course, he came back and he said, I have orders to deploy for the first time, and I want you there when I get back.
Oh, look
and
at
like
that.
Every military story, I just jumped because, of course, I had been waiting for him for that long. So I just jumped at the chance to join him and be there when he got back from his deployment. And then he proposed on a sat phone while he was deployed.
I love that.
And then we squeezed in a marriage before he had to leave for his next training. So there you go. That's us. And here we are. Now we have 2 kids, and he's still living that military life.
Yeah, I love that. So I absolutely love that you guys met at Disney. It really does make it a special place in your heart. And I think that also is why you're passionate about what you do and what you get to do day in and day out. And that is so much fun. So I want to dive into more of how Disney got back into your life, or you got back with Disney, that whole situation. Tell me, what made you decide to kind of open the doors to this opportunity of like getting people set up with going to the most magical place in the world?
So obviously I love it. my parents even honeymooned at Disney World the year that it opened. Like it's always been a part of my life.
Yeah.
And it was always a special vacation for us when we would go as kids. I love it. Then working in the parks, I have like that background of understanding everything about it a little bit more. So tips and tricks for how to navigate the parks, or, where to eat, what to do and when. And so I felt like having the history of being a cast member obviously just helped with all this. And I had been a special education teacher for a little over 10 years, decided to take a break, husband's deploying, 2 kids at home. Like I just wanted to be that stable environment for them. And he
Yeah.
kept teasing me about, why not just start being a travel agent? Why not work and bring these two things together? You know enough about the parks. Why not just start helping people plan vacations to Disney destinations? And I was like, all right, like I thought about it a little bit. He went TDY, and while he
Yeah.
was gone, I applied and I got the job. And so now for a little over 2 years, I've been making magical vacation dreams come true for families. So I love it.
I
I love
love
being
that.
able, go ahead.
I love that, but I also love that you pair, even with like how you help families plan their trips, you even help, you utilize that education background. And for those parents that may have special or exceptional children, you guide them through the process of like how you can set them up to have an amazing experience as well. Please dive into all the things, because I definitely leaned in to that part about you, because like you're more than just like, she's more than just a travel agent. Like you really are helping families in a way that I feel like, because I could only imagine, I have 3 littles and it's already like, oh gosh, like how am I going to get through such a massive place like Disney, and you really make it attainable and really special for these families. So please share all the things. I would love to hear more and how you just serve families in that way.
Sure. So without asking outright, I really try and have conversations and get to know a client when they approach me about planning their vacation. And through those conversations, we start talking about obviously needs or hopes or wants for their trip. And then it comes out, we need a quiet space. We need to have access to a quiet space. So then it gets my mind going with, okay, these are things that we could be going through right now, or we have very specific dietary restrictions.
Mhm.
So we just start with that. So as soon as we start planning and we get going through like which resort we want to stay at, if we want to be as close to the parks as possible because your kid needs a sensory break in the middle of the day, or your child needs to go back to swim in the pool because you need those 2 hours of just being in the water and relaxing because the parks are really overstimulating. We talk about proximity to the parks, where you want to be, and then going through all of the dining opportunities for where we should eat and who's going to cater to those special dietary needs. I also have a gluten intolerance. So, I come at it from that level too, where I've experienced this myself. And
Yeah.
then just talking about where are quiet spaces in the parks that you can go if there is an overwhelming experience. Where's a safe place to go within those parks, be it Disney or Universal? Where can we go to get some downtime and just reset before we get back into things? Talking
Yeah.
about the snacks that you can bring into the parks, making sure you have those favorite treats. My sister was there last week. My nephew has autism as well. So we just navigated the parks. I send detailed packets, even to my sister, who I know has been there countless times. This is a different experience now that she's going with her son with autism. So just
Yeah.
making sure that we talk about the maps, we go through the maps. I send them digital packets that give them tips and tricks for how to navigate the parks, where to go, what to do. So from start to finish, I try to be as accessible as possible, especially when clients are traveling. If you need to call me day or night, if you have something going on, if you're feeling overwhelmed, or if your special character hasn't been seen yet, like let's talk about where we can go to make sure that you see this special character so that the trip is
Yeah.
complete. So it's just everything. I try to be there for everything. I try to plan and help plan for everything.
I love that so much, especially because it's a very thoughtful approach to um, just going to Disney. Like I've gone to Disney in the past and we've winged it It wasn't great, guys. And it's really one of those things, knowing now that I have someone who I can call on that can like organize a plan and a guide. Y'all know I'm a planner. Like this speaks to my heart. But it also gives you the flexibility to just kind of go with the flow too, but because you are aware of where these opportunities to dine out with, if you have, dietary restrictions, it gives you thoughtfulness around having that downtime because these parks can be exhausting. I love that you said overstimulating. That's
Yeah.
for any child, right? Any child can be overstimulated by Disney, and knowing where quiet rooms and quiet areas are, taking into consideration driving distances, peak times, passes and things, and specialties that your child may be looking for. Maybe they've watched a certain movie over and over and over again, and they would be devastated if they did not have the moment of seeing their character in the park. Like, I think it is such a thoughtful approach. And I'm so glad that you serve people in this way, having that experience from you enjoying the park, you working at the park, and now from the perspective of like, how would I want my family to be set up for success during this experience? So thank you for what you do, because my little planner heart is happy.
Thank you. And it really is within the military community alone. But outside of that, it's such an honor to be able to play a part in planning these opportunities for families. It's
Yeah.
always now it's turned into our like post-deployment celebration.
Oh, I love that.
So I love when people reach out and they're saying, we need to go to Disney before he leaves, or we need to go to Disney as soon as they get back. It's
Yeah.
absolutely such a special place to celebrate any kind of event, but especially a homecoming.
Yeah, no, I love that. I absolutely love that. And that brings us into Military Marriage Day 2022, the giveaway. So the backstory, guys, I'm going to try not to mess it up. Danielle, totally help
You're
me out.
good. You're good.
In 2021, I had the crazy idea of like, hey, I want to give away tickets to Disney, or figure out how we can do an all expense paid trip to Disney. Now, this is me being too big for my britches. I think
But a
really
beautiful
big.
heart.
Right. I think
Yes.
really big, because I was just thinking like, if I was attending Military Marriage Day, what would be like an amazing prize that I would want to have that gives me quality time with my spouse and a really memorable experience. And of course, Disney comes to mind. So we had a friend that was in common. I don't even remember who it was. Do you, Danielle?
Krista Simpson Anderson.
Oh, of course it was.
Of course it was.
So this is what happens when you just speak your little dream out into the world. You find people to connect you. So shout out to you, Krista. We love you.
We do love you.
Thank you for connecting us. And I think I just kind of put it out there like, hey, this is something I want to do. Who can help me figure this out? And that is when Danielle comes into my life, and I'm just like, hey, is this a thing? And you gave me that first round of like, okay, so we need to think flights, and depending on where they are, and then we need to figure out what parks and this and tickets and all that. And I was like, okay, too much for 2020. And I mean, it was really close to the 2021 celebration anyway. So it was like, okay, we can definitely keep that in mind for 2022. Lo and behold, 2022 rolls around, and the idea, of course, is still on my heart to do. And Danielle, you kind of saw the behind the scenes of how this worked. I saw another social media profile who had been doing like a giveaway. So I really just modeled how we did the giveaway after what I had seen. And what that looks like is we had different businesses contribute to the cost of the tickets that we would give away. And then the way that they would get a kind thank you back to the people who are entering to win is they would follow them and tag friends, in the post, so that more people could see that we were really giving those Disney tickets. But Danielle, break down like what type of tickets we were giving away, and then maybe some other options for military couples who are like, darn it, I didn't win the giveaway, but I would love to take some time and go to Disney as well.
I think that so many people don't realize how amazing the Disney discount is for military.
Yeah.
So in addition to them doing resorts throughout the year, there are some blackout dates around Christmas, of course. But they offer these fantastic resort discounts. So if you call them directly or reach out to a travel planner, they'll help you navigate what rooms are available for the discounts, what dates are available for those discounts. And then with the tickets, this year, Disney did either 4-day park hoppers or 5-day park hoppers. And the park hopper means that you can access more than one park in the day. So this is already like a bonus ticket because there's a base ticket, which just means you go to one park for the day. So you might just go to Magic Kingdom for the day. But the park hopper means you can start your day at Magic Kingdom, you can end your day at Epcot. Fantastic. So when you approached me, I was going through all the different prices and Disneyland location, Disney World, where are we going? Disneyland has a little bit different because they only have 2 parks. So they do a 3-day park hopper or a 4-day park hopper as their military tickets. And then Disney World, like I said, does their 4 or 5-day park hoppers. They also have a water park option, so you can throw that in there. Just so many different things to consider. The tricky thing is, since COVID, they added that whole theme park reservation system. Yeah. So if you're not aware of that and you go and you buy your tickets and you're ready to go to Disney and you go on a whim, they won't let you in because you don't have your theme park reservations. So that's tricky. You want to get your tickets in advance to make sure that you can make your theme park reservations, you know exactly where you're going, what day. But just figuring out, like, you were fantastic. I mean, the amount that was given back, you were giving up to a $700 value, which literally would have been 2 4-day park hoppers at Walt Disney World this year. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then go ahead. Yeah, please.
And I think we wanted to really, so first of all, a big thank you to all of the contributors to that giveaway. I'll try and link everybody in the show notes, or you can just follow Military Marriage Day on Instagram and you'll see all of the wonderful people that we are following are people who contribute to either the overall celebration or they were direct contributors to this Disney giveaway. And let me tell you, if it wasn't for those contributions, because when I saw that $700 figure, I was like, we could totally do that. If we, strengthening numbers, giving $25, $50, $100, we could make this a reality. And I think for the value of the ticket, I think that was what really sold me on, like, we have to do this. And yes, guys, we want to do it again for 2023, but it just was the value that comes in that 4-day pass. Like, Danielle, can you break down a little bit like what that looks like for a couple? I know you mentioned they could go from park to park. Break down that reservation portion, because like that was new. And that was something that, for anyone who is a winner that chooses to opt into the ticket, you'll help them navigate through what that looks like.
So once you get your tickets, we would have arranged for them to come in the mail to whoever the winner was. And then once you get those tickets, this is where you link it to your My Disney Experience account. And everybody's like, okay, great. So you're downloading an app, you're creating a account with them, you're uploading your reservations or your tickets into that. And then you're going through the steps to make your theme park reservations. So you know that you want to start your stay at Magic Kingdom. So absolutely. Who doesn't want to see the castle as soon as they first get there? You're making your theme park reservations for your 4 days. Whatever park you're starting at in the morning is where you make your reservations. So you can go, 1 day at each park, start 1 day at each park. And then if in the afternoon you're feeling like it, you can switch over and go to a different park. So it just adds a twist. Unfortunately, there were so many people that showed up at the parks last year and didn't have theme park reservations and couldn't get in. But when you have your 4-day park hopper tickets, when you're staying at a Disney resort, you get to make your dining reservations 60 days before you arrive. You get to use the complimentary transportation to and from the parks, which is obviously no brainer. That's fantastic.
Oh, yes.
Let me just hop on that monorail and go straight to Magic Kingdom. So that's one of my favorite parks and perks for being able to be on property close to the parks. And it is nice to have a travel planner to help you navigate all the new policies that there are in place since COVID. We're seeing less and less, but those theme park reservations are there to stay. So just that one thing that you want to take into account, you want to plan enough in advance to make sure that there's still availability when you get there.
Yeah, and that's why we are going to lock arms with Danielle and she's going to help us navigate that process, because I think that just shows the benefit of having someone who is aware, in tune of all the updates, the new things, the exciting additions to the parks, and the policies, right? As we're planning these, because our military families already have enough to think about. Um, and for them to just be set up so that they can just go and enjoy is just a magical gift that you give, and we are excited to do so again in 2023. So if you guys are listening to this episode and are excited for our 2023 giveaway, please do let us know on Instagram that you are excited about that, so that we will be sure to prioritize that for next year. Every year I try to level up. So my goal is to give away to 2 couples to make that
Woo!
happen. So
Yeah.
ambitious.
Yes, we got this.
Yes, we got this. Ambitious goals here. So any airlines out there that also wants to sponsor their travel, call us. We are taking all the miles,
All the donations.
all the donations. But I do want to wrap us up with, I'd love for you to share your why behind Disney. I know I loved it and thought of it as a place for couples to, connect. But what about Disney just sets it apart for that military couples should think about when they're considering like a place to get away and reconnect and strengthen their military marriage?
Oh, goodness. So obviously for me, it comes from a place of it's packed with so many amazing memories. But when we took our kids for the first time, and I know that this is true for my husband, even if he tries to play a big, tough soldier.
Yeah.
When you walk down Main Street and you turn around and you look at your kids' faces and they are just screaming for joy, like those are things that you will forever remember, and giving them that opportunity, like, even turning around and seeing my spouse holding their hands
Yeah.
and his face light up with their excitement. Those are things that you're forever going to remember,
Yeah.
especially when they're leaving on a deployment. Like that's what you're going to hold on to during this. And curling up with your spouse and watching the fireworks from your hotel room one night or from inside the parks, going and having fine dining, because let's face it, there are some really nice restaurants at Disney, like having a fine dining experience with them, just letting the cast members know too that you're celebrating something special. They go the extra mile to make you feel special. And it's just something like nothing else. I mean, it takes you away. You don't have to travel far. You don't have to have your passport in line. You don't have to travel across the country or across the ocean. Like you can get there in a matter of hours. It's not too far away. It's attainable. It's affordable with the military discounts, and it can be absolutely memorable. So I just love the place. I think it's fantastic.
We love that. And anyone who is thinking about planning a Disney trip, make sure that you contact Danielle. We will have her information and details in the show notes. But Danielle, if you want to give really quickly your Instagram handle or how you'd best like people to contact you, please feel free to share.
Thank you. So Facebook, you can find me, Danielle Marvelous Mouse Travels. It will be a picture of me hugging Goofy, so you'll know it's me. And then for Instagram, I'm at Danielle_MMT, but my email address is Danielle.Sanchez@marvelousmousetravels.com. The longest email address ever.
I love it, but it'll be linked below to make it super easy for everyone to connect with you. And we are at my favorite part of the episode, which is our heart tracks. Our heart tracks, you can find the full playlist for our season songs on Spotify. You can just check the link in the show notes. But Danielle is in the hot seat. She has the heart track for this episode. So what will it be?
Jiminy Cricket, A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes.
I love that so much. We are, of course, keeping with the Disney theme. So you guys go ahead and check out today's heart track on Spotify for our full heart tracks playlist. Danielle, thank you so much for being willing to support us in this Disney giveaway. Thank you for connecting families with these this magical experience, not just the couples, but the children and the families, and even those who maybe thought that Disney wasn't attainable for their child, for their situation. Thank you for being thoughtful about how you plan these experiences. And we can't wait to connect with you for Military Marriage Day 2023.
I will be here. Thank you so very much for this opportunity. For everyone listening, it's an honor to come in front of you and share a little bit about what I love. But thank you to Bree for going above and beyond every single year to make sure that our lives are celebrated. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you guys.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in. Remember to rate, subscribe, and review. This is Hearts and Stripes. We are the few, the proud, that aim high and are forged by love. Always ready, always there. We are Mill Marriage Strong.